Hello and welcome to This Is SSAGO, the official SSAGO podcast. First, we should probably introduce ourselves. I'm Rose from SSAGO.
I'm Alex. I'm Indy. I'm based at Hull Uni. We just don't have a SSAGO club at the moment.
I'm Chloe. I'm from DUSAG and we're from Durham University.
I'm Ellie and I'm from NewSAG, so Newcastle Uni.
Right, so what's the plan for the SSAGO podcast?
So we're going to be discussing recent events in SSAGO. We'll have a update from the exec, so we'll zap over to them. We're also going to be producing fortnightly episodes when we're properly up and running. And groups are going to be able to apply for a section of the podcast where they can talk about what they want, pre-midnight campfire. And we will be hosting games on the SSAGO Discord to get everyone involved.
Sounds fun.
It's the start of term, so that means naturally there's been loads of freshers events happening, although they've all had to be virtual this year. So lots of different clubs and regions have been doing different things. So let's see what they've been getting up to. First of all, we'll hear from Scott North.
So on the 17th of October, Scott North, a group of members from both Scotland and the north of England, grouped together to create a 24-hour non-stop online extravaganza with events running from 3 p.m. on the Saturday to 3 p.m. on the Sunday for everybody to take part in, and there would be events running every hour on the hour. Overall, we had 125 members sign up, and even though this was technically a regional freshers camp, we had members from everywhere sign up, from as far away as Plymouth to as north as Inverness. It was amazing. And throughout the time, the Zoom call never dropped below 25 people. That's amazing to think that we had at least 25 people every hour. So just wanted to share some of the highlights about the event. A personal favourite of mine was SSAGO Eats, where, a bit like Secret Santa, you were given a name and you had to purchase a takeaway for that person. It's a brilliant concept, which I have been told other online events will be using in the future. So look out for that. Other highlights included the Scottish Bangers Disco, created by Lucy Brayson. And some other events that were really popular were all the cooking challenges we had. So the first one we had was the Scottish Highland Challenge, which was run by Badgers at Home. I don't think I've ever seen that many people cook tatty scones all together on a Zoom call. Then later on, we had the Battle of the Breakfasts. And then the final cooking event we had was Lunchtime with Skogie. We all love Skogie. And he showed us how with just your microwave, you could create a pizza and a cake. But no event would be complete without 2 a.m. with Tom Webster, taking us through a collection of drinking games and overall just getting him drunk. It was fantastic. And I think every event from now on needs to have their version of 2 a.m. with Tom. So overall, it was a very successful event. And 23 different clubs / individual people helped run an event. I think that's what made it so successful. So big thank you to everybody who ran an event. Finally, I just want to do a big plug to say that we did create badges. Woo! But we didn't put the date or time on it, so anyone can buy a Scott North badge and show their allegiance. So go buy our badges. They're on the SSAGO website underneath the Scott North booking. And thank you everybody who turned up, ran an event. It was all amazing. We couldn't have done it without you guys.
So Southwest Freshers had a camp. Their virtual camp was called Maskmaster, where the committee posted activities for their SSAGO members to participate across the weekend. So they did stuff like create the SSAGO logo out of household items. Another task was to create a fitness video that was set to a campfire song, and they had to reenact a recognisable movie scene. It was a success, everyone seemed to have fun, and the submissions were hilarious. And I'm sad the rest of SSAGO doesn't actually get to see them. They said they originally planned it to be Shrek themed, but it didn't work, so they decided to change it to Taskmaster themed.
So next, the Midlands Freshers Camp. It was originally meant to be hosted by Birmingham SSAGO, but obviously couldn't do that because we couldn't do it in person. So instead we chose to do a weekend event split up into 8 activities, each in like 2-hour slots. And we started off with sort of just an introduction to what SSAGO was, and also what the League of Midlands was and what happens on that Facebook page. And then just a general chat. And then we did an escape room made by me, which I will probably share at some point so other people can also do it in SSAGO. And then origami, and then some general games on Saturday. And then for Sunday, we started off with sweet making, and then we did a quiz, and then some mug baking and cooking ideas. And then we ended up with Derby doing a campfire, which they shared live on Facebook, and it was a great time.
And here's an update from our Badges at Home team.
Hello everybody, here's an update from Badges at Home. This project started when members of SSAGO decided to catch up on badge work during lockdown and has now become a platform where people can run badges for everyone else to enjoy. Generally, scouting badges, so Beavers, Cubs, Scouts, Explorers, and guiding badges, so Rainbows, Brownies, Guides, Rangers, are run in pairs after SSAGOs vote for their favourites. And with each pair, there's also an other badge. This, by the way, could be international badges, challenge badges, Pauplins badges, or even special SSAGO badges. These last are designed and run by SSAGOers for SSAGOers. For example, we've had a crafts badge, a BSL badge, a social isolation badge, and even an archive badge. In addition to being a source of fun and motivation, this has been a great way to make friends, and this is quite clear from the discussions on Discord, the weekly virtual gatherings, and a very successful Secret Santa style postcard swap. It's also a convenient platform to run a badge for an event or in collaboration with an event, such as the virtual written challenge badge earlier this year, and these have been quite successful. So if you have a badge you'd like to run, please do get in touch and it can probably be sorted out. One of the highlights from recent times is the crossover we had with Get Active. They came up with a wonderful scheme called SSAGOs Around the World in 80 Days, in which we added all our active distances and times to the Get Active hub on the SSAGO website and tried to make it to the Niagara Falls. In terms of distance and time goals, this translated into 5,734 kilometers and 700 hours, the kind of numbers we see during international trips. The aim was to achieve these goals in 80 days, just like in the classic novel. The most exciting part was that by the time day 80 came around, with more than 1,000 contributions, SSAGO had exceeded the distance goal by more than 500 kilometers and the time goal by more than 100 hours. We did much better than expected. Currently, Badges at Home is running the Pauplins Time Traveller badge. The activities are proving to be great fun and there has been a lot of Doctor Who excitement. In addition, Southampton SSAGO's construction challenge is still being run and you can try it out for yourselves even if you haven't signed up for the activity in Builder Rally. Of course, that's not the only one. All past badges are still open, there's no closing date and it's never too late to try them out. So do head over to Badges at Home on SSAGO Discord and on the SSAGO website. There are now more than 40 badges to choose from. And what next? Well, that lies in the future, and not even the Time Traveller badge can help us tell the future. But whatever it is, it's sure to be fun, and we know that because the past 8 months have been great fun. So hopefully, see you there. Signing off on behalf of the Badges at Home team, Ed, Connie, Maithili, Charlotte, Georgia, Ellie, Lucy, Lexi, and Georgie.
So every month or so, we'll be getting an update from the exec. So here's that now.
So, hello, I am Brittany. I'm SSAGO's secretary for this year. I'm very excited to be here, and all of the exec are very excited to get involved with this, especially at the moment when there's not a lot going on in SSAGO in the real world. It's quite nice to do some fun things for once instead of the admin, which normally plagues my weekday evenings. So a couple of things that we've been up to recently. Reps is the big thing that has been part of this sort of term, I guess. We've run the first ever online reps, which normally happens at Rally, but obviously this year we had to go online. It went quite well, we think. We're quite pleased with how it went, and we got 3 policy updates passed through, super exciting things, including the ever popular mascot kidnapping policy. Other things that have been going on for the exec, our members officer Amy has been working incredibly hard trying to elect us a new indie and associate reps. And after a lot of effort on her part and a second nomination period for the indie rep, because the first time ended in a draw, we now have an associate rep who is Maria Glover and an indie rep who is Georgina Westbrook. Behind the scenes in SSAGO, lots of fun things that we get up to on a regular basis are things like, I spend as secretary a lot of time writing meeting minutes, having meetings with all the event committees. We've recently set up a new Facebook group for event committees, tidying up the SSAGO Google Drive, which all of our exciting admin documents are saved in, updating insurance policies, and reading lots of absolutely thrilling risk assessments for all of your club's in-person activities. And if you're in England, I'm sure you'll now know that we are in lockdown for the next month, so those in-person events can no longer go ahead. But on a positive update, moving on from that, the National Youth Agency, who cover England only, I believe, have recently updated their guidance, which says that over 18s in youth organisations such as SSAGO, we hope, can now meet in groups of up to 15 after the lockdown ends. I can't promise anything on that front, but we are doing our absolute best to try and get it sorted, and hopefully by the end of the lockdown, we'll have some more concrete guidance to give you on that front. If you are in Wales and Scotland, one of the reps, I cannot remember who, I'm afraid, suggested that we let's not say employ, but find someone in Scotland and Wales to help us a bit more, because all of the exec this year are in and from England, which means obviously our understanding of Scotland and Wales is not as cohesive as we would like it to be. So if anyone is in Scotland and Wales and feels like they have a reasonable grasp of what the COVID rules are in your area and would like to help us keep updating the SSAGO coronavirus website page, please let us know. I think that's everything I wanted to say. I'm impressed I got it done in one take.
Right, so this is the section where groups or any members of SSAGO can come together and talk about any topic within reason that they'd want to talk about. So that could be what your club's been up to recently. It can be just your favourite camps you've been on. Anything that links to SSAGO, please. So we're going to talk about campfire foods and whatever topic that leads to, because knowing us and knowing SSAGO, it will probably go off topic. What's everyone's favourite campfire food?
You have a strong opinion on this, so I feel like you should probably go first, you know? Keep going on about your strong opinion.
Right, the two best campfire foods. One, obviously a s'more. Oh no, actually I've got three favourite campfire foods. Obviously a s'more. And then, based on the s'more sandwich. So it's a bread bun, a load of chocolate, load of marshmallows, wrap it in tin foil, chuck it on the fire, and then just let it heat up. And then you've got a nice...
That sounds grim.
Yeah, I feel like that sounds both disgusting and delicious at the same time. So
It just tastes so good. But then, to be fair, this was born out of an explorer camp where we were told we could cook and buy our own food. And we had a budget, and we bought like the really cheap chocolate bars you can get. We bought like 2 per person.
Nice.
So we bought about 30.
How long was the camp for? Because on a week camp, that's not enough. But on a weekend camp, that's probably the right level.
It was a weekend, and we suddenly panicked because we were like, yeah, we'll eat all these chocolate bars. We'll definitely eat them all. And then we didn't, and then went, right, we need to figure out how to eat them all. So s'more sandwich was born, and best thing ever. And then egg and potato. So you get a potato, you carve out some of the potato, crack an egg into it, put the potato back together, wrap it in tin foil, chuck that on the campfire, and then when it's finished, you have a nice cooked potato with a nice cooked egg in it.
all your suggestions are like really, really overcomplicating simple things, you know?
They don't sound nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I stand by it. I think they're great foods.
I was going to say, yeah, I kind of like the idea of the s'more sandwich.
Thank you.
I think I've got to try that.
Yeah, I feel like that's interesting.
I mean, I like chocolate spread sandwiches, so chocolate and marshmallow.
Yeah.
Wait, was the bread instead of the biscuits?
Yeah.
It's not extra carbs, just more carbs, more and more. I feel like that's what I don't like about s'mores is it's too much biscuit.
I always find they crumble away and then you get sticky fingers and you end up with like chocolate and marshmallow burning your fingers because your marshmallow's been set on fire inevitably.
Deliberately.
Well, you give it to the guides to do so you don't burn your hands because they quite like it, and then you end up with burnt fingers when it's inevitably too hot.
Yeah, I feel like maybe I've just never actually made a proper s'more before because my chocolate never melts. It's just never like gooey enough. And so it's just like dry biscuit with a chunk of chocolate and like slightly gooey marshmallow. So I feel like I'm just not doing it right, to be honest.
You're not setting it on fire, are you? You're just letting it get toasted.
Oh, but I am a set on fire marshmallow gal.
Oh, yeah, the only way to have marshmallows.
It's the most fun way as well. Just like burn.
And you still get a nice tasty snack afterwards.
Exactly.
Burnt marshmallows are the best. But...
I mean, what Scout people don't like setting things on fire, so...
I wish I still had a garden so I could make a fire, but I live in a flat.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't get away with a fire in here.
No.
I know for one of the badges, like people made, like you had to like make a campfire or something, and then like loads of people just made a fire in their sink. So, because they like couldn't go outside. So like there was probably like a good 5 or 6 people that just like put a load of paper in their sink, set it on fire, toasted their marshmallow, and then just ran the water over it.
I made it in on my kitchen floor in my old house.
Oh yeah.
And it was a bit of a disaster. I was the reason for getting an accident book on the Discord channel temporarily. I burnt my finger. My finger started blistering because I had to move this fire from the floor into the sink to put it out and then into the garden so I didn't set off the fire alarm. And that is what happens when my housemates move out because of COVID.
Didn't you think about moving the water to the fire instead of moving the fire to the water? I feel like you could have got a cup or something and just...
Considering I made a fire on my kitchen floor, I can't say I was thinking particularly. I was just like, ooh, fire. And got overexcited. All whilst on Discord voice channel.
I suppose you'd have to be very careful about how much water you poured over the fire if it's on your kitchen floor, because then you'd have to mop up afterwards.
Yeah, we didn't own a mop, so...
Yeah, that would be an issue.
Yeah.
So I suppose it's burnt or flooded kitchen.
Tea towels exist, maybe?
Yeah.
There are so many things that you could have used to absorb the water. I feel like you can't use the excuse of, oh yeah, I didn't have a mop.
Yeah, but I guess if there's like a situation of there's a fire in my kitchen, I don't have a mop, what else could I use to mop it up as the fire keeps going? Like, yeah, you could have easily put it out, but equally it's a fire in your kitchen. Logic goes out the window.
I feel like you think about putting it out first instead of, oh yeah, I'm going to put it out with water and then I'm going to use a mop.
Don't you have a fire blanket?
If you're an explorer or ranger listening to this, don't set fires on your kitchen floor or in your kitchen.
And don't try to pick up fires.
Don't set fires in your house.
Do not try any of this at home.
Even if you want s'mores, use the hob. Use the hob.
Or, for s'mores, a good thing that DSAG found out on our Freshers Fire a few years ago is you can microwave s'mores. You can put a biscuit, marshmallow, microwave it for like, depending on your microwave, about 10 seconds. And then it just suddenly it melts and then you can just put a biscuit on top and eat it.
Does that not make your microwave like super gooey?
Well, no, you put a plate underneath the biscuit.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
But also, it means you don't have a fire. You could always do it on the tea light. You know, best of both worlds, get a fire and you get a s'more without setting the fire alarm off and getting your flat block evacuated, which I haven't done yet.
Well done.
Yeah. Tell you what my favourite campfire food is. I like bananas with like chocolate buttons in.
Yeah.
And then you thought it's pretty much the only way I eat a banana unless it's in a cake. And you stick it on the fire and then you've got like chocolatey banana to scoop out. And it's quite yummy.
That is a good one.
Yeah, mine's like similar to that because mine's like the apple one where you like core the apple and then you like cover like you put like raisins and like sugar and like cinnamon in it, and like you just like stuff the apple and then you wrap it in tin foil, and then it's all nice. But it depends on whether you like mushy apple, to be honest.
I like apple crumble and apple pie.
Probably similar to that, similar flavours.
I just don't like eating fruit.
I only like fruit with added sugar. So like strawberries with sugar on, or apple pie or banana cake. I don't tend to buy fruit just to eat.
I buy fruit from Messira in the morning. But like, yeah, if I just buy fruit, I'll just forget I've got it. Even if it's on the kitchen worktop there, I just won't eat it. So yeah.
Yeah.
I went through a healthy stage at one point during lockdown and ate a couple of apples, but I would only eat them if I'd cut them up first. But other than that, like, I eat strawberry laces. That's like my food, my go-to.
I haven't bought a bit of fruit in like a year and a bit now.
Wow.
So I'll eat veg.
I bought strawberries yesterday. Went to Morrison's. Not just for the strawberries, but yeah.
I'm in self-isolation, so I've got a Morrison's order coming, but I don't think it's got any fruit on it at all.
Does it have any strawberry laces?
Right, no, because... Right, so I logged on and it was the first thing I was going to put in my basket, and then Morrison's don't sell strawberry laces online.
Do they not?
I know.
What?
So I considered changing it to Tesco, but they couldn't order it until, or couldn't deliver it until after the self-isolation was finished, and I am kind of running out of food, so I had to suffer no strawberry laces.
Maybe it's just that particular shop has run out or something. That's, yeah. Sure, I've seen strawberry laces in Morrison's.
I don't think I've been to Morrison's in a good few years. It was only because they were delivered to me on Saturday. But I might ask, one of the scout leaders is going to come and drop a few things off tomorrow. I might ask her to get me some strawberry laces.
It's an addiction. You just need them. You can't go without your strawberry laces. Do you not think about like substituting it for like some other sweet or confectionery item?
I like that you can tie them in knots and then eat them. So like they keep your hands busy for a while, don't they, until they start to melt and get all sticky. But the amount of times I've slept on strawberry laces in camp.
I feel like you're just admitting to being a child. Just playing with your food.
I mean, with SSAGO.
We're overgrown beavers with more responsibility.
And more alcohol. Or with alcohol.
Not more. Who's giving the beavers shandy? Please don't give the turquoise ninjas alcohol.
Oh, I know what I've just forgotten. Campfire donuts. They're pretty good. I think they're probably my Cubs' favourite, definitely. Like, we've given them the vote a couple of times of what to go with, and it's always campfire donuts. Like, even around pancake day, we'll say, like, pancakes or campfire donuts. And, yeah, it's campfire donuts all the way. I've said campfire donuts a lot now.
Well, our campfire donuts like eggy bread with jam inside.
Kind of.
Deep fried bread, right? But with, like, jam and...
Yeah, there's something, because it's not just bread. As in, I think
it's eggy bread.
it's not quite eggy bread either, though. It's somewhere in between. I think there is a bit of egg, but not as much as with eggy bread.
Yeah, you definitely like get bread, and then I think you put like jam inside, and then you like dip it in like either pancake mix or like egg or like something, and then you deep fry it.
Yeah, pancake mix.
I've never had them before.
We definitely do it with egg with our guides.
Yeah, I can't remember if we dip the bread in pancake mix, then put the jam in and roll it, or whether you do it. But you do. But yeah, it's that kind of thing.
Yeah, I feel like it's super messy and difficult to make, but like once you've made like a good one, they're like really good.
They're really good. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever eaten one.
Neither have I.
I hadn't until like I think it might have been Gilwell 24 last year. I think SSAGO were running that, like that was their like stall, was like they did I think like crepes and campfire donuts. So it was a good time. But I hadn't heard of them before that point.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of them before I came up here and joined Cubs up here. Yeah.
I know I've helped my guides make them, but I don't think I've ever managed to be someone who ate one as well. I've always helped them make them, and then something else has gone on and I've had to go off, and the joys of ending up first aid I have.
Oh, you're missing out.
I might make one on my hob later. I've got jam, I've got bread. I think I've got eggs. Well, they might have all gone into the cakes I've been stuffing during this.
Do you not get like your guides or your cubs to make the food for you?
No, I don't want food poisoning.
That would be disgusting.
See, I just take me chances.
We kind of do it with them.
I'll supervise, but I won't eat what they've cooked.
I think.
Yeah, I feel like you can't trust.
I don't want to die.
Yeah, one of my cubs made years ago now. They made fish, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we made you this," and because of the whole activity was like gutting fish and all that, and they hadn't taken the bones out, and they were so excited because it was like a big deal, and I was like, "Oh," and I took a bite and went, and they were like, "Oh, is it nice? Is it nice?" I was like, yeah, it's lovely," and they're like, "You can eat the whole thing?" I'm like, "Yeah, I guess."
Maybe later. I'll save some for later when I get home.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, I'm not quite hungry yet. I'll eat later."
Save it till after they've gone to bed.
But otherwise, generally, they're quite good at cooking food. It was just that one occasion that wasn't very good.
Yeah, our cubs are normally not too bad. I think just because, well, when we're doing it in the hut, we just kind of make sure they've all washed their hands and like watch what they're doing. And like, it's normally a leader in charge of the actual cooking bit anyway, so it's kind of all right. But yeah, I wouldn't just trust anything that they've done on their own.
We did an air activities themed camp last September with my cubs, and we got back from our day trip, and one of the leaders had to go off to get some more food because we didn't have food that catered to one of the dietary requirements, because we forgot pasta was not gluten-free. So we were making spaghetti bolognese, and I was sort of left in charge of it. And so I had like 12 kids with sharp knives cutting up vegetables, and I think I got grey hairs from it. I genuinely thought they were going to start losing fingers. Genuinely thought it. It was teaching them how to use a peeler as well. Some of them had never used a peeler or didn't appear to have ever used one. It was a nightmare, but the food was all right at the end. I feel because there was a leader in charge.
Yeah, kids and knives is scary.
Tell me about it. But sometimes leaders and knives are scary as well, because I feel like the kids at least sometimes follow the rules, whereas leaders sort of go, "I'm a leader, it's fine." And then 2 minutes later, they're turning up to the first aid again. Sheared a bit of my finger off, hurt my finger. But yeah, leaders scare me. Well, SSAGO scares me more than cubs. And I don't think I've ever let my guides have knives.
We might have gone off topic. I was like, she's talking about children shaving their fingers off.
Leaders.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'll stay quiet until Alex has like finished her sentence, but then I might bring mention it.
I'm sorry, I go off topic.
Can we just end the podcast with it?
I have ADHD, so most people's stories go like A to B, but mine go A to Z to J to I can't remember any other letters, and then eventually ends up at my point,
which was SSAGO is scarier than leaders of course. Thanks everyone for listening to the SSAGO podcast. Keep an eye out for podcast information on the SSAGO social media. We'll be planning to do the next episode next year, so if you want to get involved, join the SSAGO podcast channel on Discord. We'll be looking for feedback on the podcast to see what we can improve. Thanks everyone.